رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما إن كنتم موقنين لا إله إلا هو يحيي ويميت ربكم ورب آبائكم الأولين بل هم في شك يلعبون فارتقب يوم تأتي السماء بدخان مبين يغشى الناس هذا عذاب أليم ربنا اكشف عنا العذاب إنا مؤمنون أنى لهم الذكرى وقد جاءهم رسول مبين ثم تولوا عنه وقالوا معلم مجنون إنا كاشف العذاب قليلا إنكم عائدون يوم نبطش البطشة الكبرى إنا منتقمون ولقد فتنا قبلهم قوم فرعون وجاءهم رسول كريم أن أدوا إلي عباد الله إني لكم رسول أمين وأن لا تعلوا على الله إني آتيكم بسلطان مبين وإني عذت بربي وربكم أن ترجمون وإن لم تؤمنوا لي فاعتزلون فدعا ربه أن هؤلاء قوم مجرمون فأسر بعبادي ليلا إنكم متبعون آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل الساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. السلام على ولي الله وحبيبه. السلام على خليل الله ونجيبه. السلام على صفي الله وابن صفيه. السلام على الحسين المظلوم الشهيد. السلام على أسير الكربات وقتيل العبرات. اللهم إني أشهد أنه وليك وابن وليك وصفيك وابن صفيك، الفائز بكرامتك، أكرمته بالشهادة وحبوته بالسعادة، واجتبيته بطيب الولادة، وجعلته سيدا من السادة وقائدا من القادة وذائدا من الذادة، وأعطيته مواريث الأنبياء، وجعلته حجة على خلقك من الأوصياء، فأعذر في دعاء ومنح النصح، وبذل مهجته فيك ليستنقذ عبادك من الجهالة وحيرة الضلالة، وقد توازر عليه من غرته الدنيا، وباع حظه بالأرذل الأدنى، وشرى آخرته بالثمن الأوكاس، وتغترس وتردى في هواه، وأسخطك وأسخط نبيك، وأطاع من عبادك أهل الشقاق والنفاق، وحملة الأوزار المستوجبين النار، فجاهدهم فيك صبرا محتسبا، حتى سفك في طاعتك دمه واستبيح حريمه. اللهم فلعنهم لعنا وبيلا، وعذبهم عذابا أليما. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن سيد الأوصياء، أشهد أنك أمين الله وابن أمينه، عشت سعيدا ومضيت حميدا، ومت فقيدا مظلوما شهيدا، وأشهد أن الله منجز ما وعدك، ومهلك ما خذلك، ومعذب من قتلك، وأشهد أنك وفيت بعهد الله، وجاهدت في سبيله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله من قتلك، ولعن الله من ظلمك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. اللهم إني أشهدك أني ولي لمن والاه، وعدو لمن عاداه، بأبي أنت وأمي يا ابن رسول الله. أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها، ولم تلبسك المدلهمات من ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المسلمين ومعقل المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرزي الزكي الهادي المهدي وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا وأشهد أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع ونصرتي لكم معدة حتى يأذن الله لكم فمعكم لا مع عدوكم صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وأجسادكم وشاهدكم وغائبكم وظاهركم وباطنكم آمين رب العالمين. صلوات.
Jazakallah, Brother Ibrahim, for the recitation of Ziyarat Arbaeen. Please recite a loud salawat. Now I would like to request Brother Muhammad Haider for a short salam. Please recite a loud salawat.
بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات. جب رہا شام کے زندان سے ہوئے اہل حرم، کیا خوشی ہوتی دوبالا ہوا سادات کا غم، جس کو ارمان ننھی سی لحد پر تھا مسلسل ماتم، سن کے فریاد و فغاں سانس رکی جاتی تھی، قبر سے کی صدا آتی تھی، مجھے بھی وطن لے چلو، مجھے بھی وطن لے چلو، میں کیسے میں کیسے رہوں گی یہاں پر، یہاں ہے بھلا کون میرا، مجھے بھی وطن لے چلو، مجھے بھی وطن لے چلو، رہا ہو کے گھر جانے والوں، مجھے بھی کہیں پر بٹھا لو، شہیدوں کے سر ہیں جہاں پر، مجھے بھی وہیں پر سلا دو، میں بابا کے سر سے لپٹ کر سفر کاٹ لوں گی یہ سارا، مجھے بھی وطن لے چلو، مجھے بھی وطن لے چلو، نہ یوں چھوڑ کر جاؤ اماں مجھے شامیوں کے سہارے، یتیمی کی ماری ہوئی کو ستایا بہت ظالموں نے، بہت خوف آتا ہے مجھ کو تمہیں واسطہ سیدہ کا، مجھے بھی وطن لے چلو، مجھے بھی وطن لے چلو، بر محمد وال محمد صلوات۔
Jazakallah, Brother Heather. For the MOMIN volunteers, please recite a loud salawat. On behalf of EC, behalf of MOMIN community, I would like to thank Maulana Hussain Zaidi for accepting our invitation and reciting Majalis in the MOMIN Center. Today is his last speech, and inshallah we are hoping that he come back and recite more Majalises in MOMIN Center. I would like to invite Maulana on the member. Please recite a loud salawat.
Please recite the Surah Fatiha. Bismillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين، سيدنا ونبينا وطبيب قلوبنا مولانا بالقاسم محمد، وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد واللعن دائم على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، السلام على ولي الله وحبيبه، السلام على خليل الله ونجيبه. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. رسالة صلوات please. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. In order to hasten the reappearance of our Imam, a second louder salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So we can be amongst the closest companions of the Imam of our time, the Salmans, the Abu Dhars, the Fizza of our time. A third, even louder salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. Adham Allahu ajurana wa ajurukum. Dear brothers, respected elders, sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, my condolences to the Imam of our time on the day of Arbaeen, and my condolences to all of you. There's a narration which we have which talks about the qualities of a mu'min. I'm sure you've all heard this narration, right? It talks about 5 qualities of a mu'min. Inshallah, I'll start off with that. It says, Alamatul mu'min khamsun. These are the 5 signs of a mu'min. And now what we need to do is when we hear these signs, you might have heard this hadith, but try to look at yourself in the mirror and see how many of those signs do I possess? How many of these signs do I have? Because we like to be called the mu'mineen of Amir al-Mu'mineen, right? We're the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But this is what the Imam say, Alamatul mu'min khamsun. The first one, Salatul ahda wal khamseen. Right? Ahda wal khamseen is how many? 51. It's a little difficult, right? 51 salah. It's okay. Let's give ourselves a discount. How about 5 salah? Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. How many of us are doing that? Inshallah, all of us are doing that. But it says the alamatul for mu'min is 51 with the nafila. But let's not be too hard on ourselves. Let's stick to the 5. We'll give ourselves a little discount. Second one. وَالْتَخَتُّمُ بِالْيَمِينِ. تَخَتُّمُ بِالْيَمِينِ, wearing a ring on the right hand. Right? This is why they say mustahab. Everyone's looking at the right hand. Wait, am I wearing a ring or not? Right? Takhattamul yamin. This is an alamat of a mu'min. Anybody who's lived in Pakistan, you know that or anywhere else, you know if somebody's wearing a aqiq, kya kehte hain? Oh, he's one of us. Ye Shia hoga. Because this is a sign of a mu'min. Okay, keep that in mind. Wearing a ring on the right hand. Third, Ta'firul Jabeen. Ta'firul Jabeen. What does that mean? It means doing sajda or putting your forehead on dirt. Putting your forehead on dirt. This is again one of those signs of a mu'min. Right? Doing sajda on a muhr. So the brothers, when you go to another mosque of other brothers, or you're working, or at work, don't put that piece of paper. Carry a muhr with you. It's the least we can do. It's a sign of a mu'min. A small muhr in your car. Carry it around in your backpack. Recite a salawat. Ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Recite another salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So how many have we done? 3. Fourth one. وَجَحْرُ بِبِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ. When you start your salah, you say Bismillah out loud. Last but not least, what is the last one? was Ziyaratul Arbaeen. The Ziyarah of Arbaeen. So brothers and sisters, let me ask you something. The Ziyarah of Arbaeen is a sign of a mu'min. Today is the day of Arbaeen. So if you put the two together, what is the most important thing for today? What is the most important thing? Reciting the Ziyarat of Arbaeen, which was just done, which most of us didn't hear. So my humble recommendation to all of you, and very humbly, when you go home, the least we can do is recite the Ziyarat of Arbaeen, because most of us missed it. This is a sign of a believer. Yes, you might say, but brother, the Ziyarat Arbaeen that it's talking about is actually visiting. Yes, of course. It's actually going for Arbaeen. But most of us weren't able to. At least the ulama say if you can't go, at least recite the ziyarah with the niyyah that if I could go, I would have gone. Signs of mu'mineen. So in the ziyarah of Arbaeen, how does the ziyarah start? This is what I started my speech with. Or Ziyarat Ashura, how does the ziyarah start? What is the first word that we say? As-salam. Right? Like for example, Ziyarat Ashura, As-salamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Ziyarat Arbaeen, what do we say? As-salamu ala waliyallahi wa habibihi. Right? As-salamu ala khalilillahi wa najibihi. As-salamu ala safiyallahi wa ibna safihi. As-salamu ala Hussain al-mazloom al-shaheed. So this is what we start off with. You see, the thing is, when you greet someone, there's different ways of greeting someone. In some of the cultures, we shake hands. Some of the cultures, right, they don't even shake hands. They bow down to each other. Some of the Latin American cultures, right, or even some of the Arab cultures, they kiss each other on the cheek. These are different ways of greeting. They say that before Islam, one of the ways of greeting was that may you live a long life. They would say, may you live a long life. But when Islam came, we said, no, you're going to greet people as Assalamu alaikum. And their return, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So this is how the ziyarah starts. So the question becomes, if these important ziyarahs that we have, and the last few nights we've talked about Ziyarat Ashura, but even Ziyarat Arbaeen, this applies. This salam, what does it mean? If I ask you, what does salam mean? What would you say? What would you say? No, but that's not what salam means. Yes, of course, a reply back is wajib. What you would say is, what does salam mean? May Allah protect you. Right? This is how we translate it. But is this really the translation of salam? The ulama say the salam here, there's 3 actual meanings of it. 3 actual meanings of salam. Recite a salawat first. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. As-salam is also one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the first meaning that they say is that you're actually telling your believer that may this characteristic of Allah be with you. Right? How do you know how close you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The more characteristics of Allah that you have within you. Right? If Allah is merciful, you should be merciful. Allah is all-giving, you should be all-giving. Allah is forgiving. How forgiving are you? How forgiving are you? Maulana talked about this yesterday. Do you forgive your brothers and sisters in Islam? So the first meaning of salam is what? That this characteristics, the characteristic of protection be with you. That you have this characteristics of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the first. Second meaning of salam is that may Allah protect you. This is kind of what we understand. May Allah protect you. But protect you from who and what? May Allah protect you from me. What does that mean? Physical protection? There's not too many of us that, we say salam and then we start fighting. I mean, there is few people who do that. And even when they want to start fighting because they're Muslim, salam alaikum, okay, let's fight. Protection from you from what? Physical? No. That's the basic. May Allah protect you from me, from my spirit, my spirit, spiritual protection. So this goes to all of us. When we hang out with our friends, are we protecting them? Yes, physically we're protecting them, but spiritually, what are we doing? Are we saying, you're my friend, let's go where we're not supposed to go? Or if you're my friend, let's do something which we're not supposed to be doing. So when we say salam, what are we talking about? Right? It doesn't just mean may Allah protect you. There's a lot, it's deeper. The first meaning of salam, we said, is that may this trait of Allah be with you. The second meaning of salam, we said that may Allah protect you from me, physically and more importantly, spiritually. And the third meaning, after salawat. So the third meanings that the ulama say, the meaning of salam means the meaning of submission. The meaning of submission or surrender. So when we say salam to somebody, when we say salam to our brothers and sisters, it's almost like we're saying, we surrender to you, we submit to you, we like you, come sit with us, we follow you. So now let's take this back to our discussion of Ziyarat Ashura or Ziyarat Arbaeen. When you're saying salam, when you say Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, what are you saying? May Allah protect you? Imam Hussain, no. You're saying Imam Hussain, Aba Abdullah, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, may I surrender to you. May I surrender to you. Surrender to what? To your message. To what you stood for. To why you were martyred. Not only yourself, but your family. I surrender to the message of Zainab when she went to Kufa, when she went to Sham. I surrender to the message of Zainul Abidin. So when you say Salam alayka ya Aba Abdullah, or in Ziyarat Arbaeen, when you say Salam to Hussain, what are we meaning by that? What do we mean by that? How many times have we read Ziyarat Ashura but never understood what it actually means to say Salam? It's okay. I mean, this is what we're here for. Right? To be able to gain this knowledge. And anything I'm saying from this mimbar is not something I'm making up. Our teachers say all we have to do is naql qawl. What does naql qawl mean for the kids? It means just reiterate what the teachers have said, because there's so much that the teachers have said. The ulama, the true scholars, ulama Rabbani, when they do the ziyarah, when they write the tafsir of Ziyarat Ashura, the shar, there's 3 jiled book this thick on just Ziyarat Ashura. A lot of you who are Urdu reading, you can find that in Urdu too. It would be nice to pick this book up and just see what do we actually mean when we say salam. And then when we say salam to each other, it changes the meaning. Especially when we say salam to Aba Abdullah. Ziyarat Arbaeen. So when you go home, as I mentioned, the most important thing from today is the ziyarah. So alhamdulillah, you did the 3-mile walk. But after the walk, if you can't read ziyarah, then go home, rest a little bit. Before Maghrib, recite the ziyarah. This is what's recommended for today. This is one of the signs of a MOMIN. If you don't understand Arabic, read it in English. Contemplate on some of the words. When you say As-Salam, contemplate that, Imam, I've been mourning you for 40 days, but have I actually surrendered to you? Have I surrendered to your mission? The mission of Amr bil Ma'roof, Nahi anil Munkar, the mission of protecting Islam. When you think of Imam al-Hussain, when I ask you, what is our madhab? You said the Jafari. We're the Jafari. Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salam. Who do you think laid the pathway for this madhab? Who do you think laid the pathway for all the adiyah that you have in Sayf al-Sajjadiyah? Nobody other than Imam al-Hussain. This is why they say, the Prophet's saying is, Hussainu minni wa ana min al-Hussain. Right? Hussainu minni, Hussein's from me. But what does that mean? Ana min al-Hussain? I'm from Hussain. How do you make sense of that? It's because Hussein's mission was the same mission as Rasulullah. He brought Islam, protected Islam. When Islam was going away, what did Hussain do? He brought Islam back and he protected Islam. This is the only way it makes sense for the Rasul to say, Hussainu minni wa ana min al-Hussain, that I am from Hussain. It's because they had the same mission. Sarah salawat, please. Last but not least, when we say, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, Ziyarat Ashura. This is what we've been talking about the last few nights. What does Abdullah mean? What does Abdullah mean? The servant of Allah? Sure. It means the servant, but in the true sense, it means the abd, meaning the best of the worshippers of Allah. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I've created you only to worship me. So what does abd in this sense means? It's the one who worships Allah. So when you're saying, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, I surrender to you, to the father of the worshippers. How do you surrender to the father of the worshippers? Look at yourself. And I'm talking about myself, not about you. Where is my worship at? How am I worshiping? Again, tying back to the start of the speech, the MOMIN. What is the quality? 51 rakat salah. But we said we'll give ourselves discount. We'll just talk about Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Where's our salah? When we say, Aba Abdullah, we're surrendering to you. MashaAllah, most of you are praying. But if you're praying, then inshallah try to pray on time. If you're praying on time, then possibly try to have that understanding of what you're doing. Okay? Risala salawat, inshallah. Allah. Today is the day of Arbaeen. Again, my condolences to all of you, brothers and sisters. If you take anything away from today's speech, is just remember the day of Arbaeen, the most important thing that you could do is, in the Mafati it says you can do a ghusl, and then after that you recite the Ziyarat Arbaeen. Some of them say actually the later part of the day also. Right? Before sunset, obviously. So if you haven't recited Ziyarat Arbaeen, then I humbly ask you to go home, rest, and then recite the ziyarah. It doesn't take very long. If your Arabic isn't good, recite it in English. Understand what you're saying. And when you're reciting, just keep in mind what we talked about Salam. What does Salam mean? That I'm surrendering myself to you, Hussain, to your mission, to the mission which you gave everything away for. This is what this reality is that this is the Farsh Aza of Bi Fatimat al-Zahra Salam Allah alayha. And this is something that I say even when I go to someone's house, that when you invite somebody for majlis, you're actually not the host. You're also a guest. Because the host of the Farsh Aza is no other than Fatimat al-Zahra Salam Allah alayha. We came here to give her pursa. So inshallah, the musibah, we start off by doing some tawassul to Fatima. The Fatima, we came here on the day of Arbaeen in Dallas, Texas to mourn your son. Fatima, help us with our difficulties. Help our children. Show them the straight path. Make them of a lover of the Ahlul Bayt in this life and the hereafter. Allahumma salli ala Fatimata wa abiha wa ba'aliha wa baniha wa sirr al-musta'awda'a fiha بعدد ما أحاط به علمك صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله صلى الله عليك يا مظلوم صلى الله عليك أيها الشهيد بكربلاء أتشانا. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon you, my beloved Imam al-Hussein, my beloved oppressed Imam, the Imam who was slaughtered on the shores of the river while his mouth was dry. Brothers, do you know there's an individual that when they talk about the maqtal, they say there's one individual who resembled Imam Hussein a lot. This was no other than his brother Muslim. You know, he sent Muslim, this is what he sent Muslim to Kufa as his representative. And what did they do? They abandoned him. Then they caught him. Then they took him. Right? Keep in mind, they say Hussein resembles, or Muslim resembles Hussein. What did they do when they caught him? They took him, right? And they asked him, is there anything you want to say? He said, yes, I have a wasiyah for this other person. This, take care of this. And he's like, this is all. They say anything else? He says, yes, if I can get a little bit of water. I'm really thirsty, if I can get a little bit of water. They say, sure. They bring the water to Muslim. And you know, he tries to drink it. Every time he tries to drink it, some blood falls. They say it happens about 3 times. Muslim died thirsty. Perhaps this is why they say he resembles Hussein. Because Abu Abdullah died thirsty. Remember when the horse came back? Sakina asked Zuljana, I know my father's died, but let me ask you something. Did they give him a little bit of water? But I always say, whenever they compare Muslim to Hussein, I think to myself, Muslim, when they took you up on the roof, they cut your head, just like they cut Imam Hussein's head. And they threw you from the building. But Muslim, let me ask you this. When they were cutting your head, was your sister standing watching? Muslim, when they were cutting Hussein's head, Zainab was there, Sakina was there. What kind of comparison is this? They say that when Muslim died, they told Imam al-Hussein on the way to Kufa that Muslim has died. They say that Imam Hussein and Zainab together, they wept for Muslim. Muslim, So they say, you see, Zainab wept for Muslim, and Zainab wept for Imam al-Hussein. There's the comparison. But I say, Muslim, after you died, did they parade your sister? Did they take her to Kufa? Did they take her to Sham? No. They say Muslim had a little girl. She was about 3 or 4 years old when Imam Hussein, after he was done crying, he told them, call Muslim's daughter. They called the 3-year-old girl. Imam Hussein ne kaha, aao idhar aao, bithaya. He put his head on her head. Muslim's daughter says, Ammu, you only do this to the orphans. Have I become an orphan? He said, yes, Muslim has been killed. What kind of comparison is this, Abu Abdullah? Nobody called Sakina. Nobody said, Sakina, you become an orphan. Instead, they slapped her. From one tent to the other, she ran. What kind of comparison is this? Oh, Abu Abdullah, there is no day like yours. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. ماتم حسين.
Nice.